Hi, my name is Arthur, and I've heard people ask the question, why is there evil on earth? Why does God allow it to affect mankind? Well, if you go back to the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, it says that God created man and woman and planted them in the Garden of Eden where everything was perfect. And he gave them everything they desired, except he forbade them to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So they were tempted and they were weak, and they went to that tree and ate of the fruit. And that's when evil was brought into earth because mankind, man and woman, wanted to know. And it came with that. So here we are. We're in this situation. It's much like when you step on an elevator, the doors close, and there's only a few things that you can do. And while you're on that elevator, your situation is you can go up or down. There are buttons for what floor you want to go to, and there's a telephone there to call for emergency help. And that's all you can do when you're on that elevator. And when you are on a roller coaster ride, it's going to go up, down, fast, slow. And you are at the mercy of that situation until the ride stops. So while we're on earth, we are exposed to evil because we wanted to know. And we have to think about this, that Adam and Eve gave in to the temptation. They wanted to know. They wanted to be like God. But if you look deep inside yourself, would you have resisted? In this day and age and time where you are right now, do you want to participate in some of the things that are evil because you think it will please you? Every man, every woman is weak. But we can fight that now and we can change it. So why does God allow it? Why doesn't God do anything about that? Well, he has something planned. He's always had something planned. There is a way. There is a way to crush evil. And when we look in the mirror in the morning, we see who has the power to do that. You and I. You and I. We are the ones that God asks to crush evil. We are the ones that God asks to fight against evil, to resist it, to teach our children and grandchildren to stay away from evil, to teach them good and righteousness and justice and fairness. You know, when a child is born, their little legs are weak. They have muscles and they have nerves, but they're not developed. And at a certain time, those muscles get strong. Those nerve endings get strong. That coordination happens, and the child can roll over. And then that child can crawl. And a little bit longer, that child can walk and hold itself up. It learns about balance. It learns about the freedom of motion and being free. Yeah? And every soul, every human being, since the beginning of time, man and woman, we all develop at different rates, but we all get strong inside of our heart and soul. And we have the ability to push against evil, to stamp out evil, to crush evil, to work for good. And all the things that happen in this world that are so miserable from the beginning of time to this day. So let us focus on this day and age. What do you think about, what would you say is the greatest evil in our land? What do you say is the greatest evil in the lands around the world? What would you say is the greatest evil in the hearts of men and women? Well, God has something to do about that. He has someone to do it. He has you and I. To teach, to spread the word, to unite people around the world and put down evil. Are you ready? If I call your name, Would you be ready? Would you be willing? You have the strength. You have the courage. You have the time. When the opportunity comes, you must stand up with me and stand with others. Stand up with the guidance of God's church and demand justice, put down evil, and crush it in a way that is acceptable to God's church, the teachings of the church, in terms of fighting with dignity and honor for God's kingdom and for innocent men and women and children and fetuses, and to do that in a nonviolent way with honor and dignity, because we are the soldiers of Christ. We are the hand of Christ. We are the hand and voice of justice that emanates from the throne of heaven of our Almighty God. His strong arm will be with us to protect us along the way. We have His strength. We have His wisdom all at our disposal. We just must unite when opportunity comes and plant that seed to push away evil and crush it. And if you look at history, in the recent history and in the past hundreds of years, that has been the endeavor of mankind in every generation. We must fight against evil in our generation. This is our time, and it will be done. Therefore, go out and do great things.